What's going on, guys? So we are sitting inside of a 2025 Chevy Silverado LT Trailboss Z71 pickup truck equipped with the 3-liter LZO Duramax diesel engine. This is a wonderful power plant, and we have a lot to talk about in terms of driving impressions and things that I like about this truck and some things that could be improved. Hang tight, I'll be right back. I've had an opportunity to put about 75 miles on this truck, and it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to tell you that I really love the interior layout of this truck, and I mentioned that in a video where I compared this truck to our 2023 GMC Sierra Denali 1500 pickup truck, basically the half-ton equivalent on the GMC side that is more of a luxury focused vehicle versus this off-road package that you get with the Trailboss and the Z71 equipped options. Now, this truck, to me, has a more sophisticated, more luxurious interior to it than the GMC that we have. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the GMC. I'm just saying after I sat in this truck, I was like, wow. And that's considering the fact that it's not as well equipped as the Denali that we own. Yes, this has the Rancho shocks on it, a slight lift over our truck. It has the same tire package. The wheels are the same size, even though they look entirely different. This has this really cool hood scoop, which I'm kind of on the fence on because it kind of protrudes up a little more than I'd like. But from the outside of the truck, it looks absolutely fantastic. But the interior of this truck is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. The colors, the tones, the areas where they have contrasting tones, this really beautiful high gloss wood accent, the screen, the way they've integrated it in. I love the fact that the screen is a little higher. They give you some storage behind the screen, which I really like. Still wish they would put some sunglass holders or driving glass holders up here, which they don't. They move the AC vents from the top to the side with the Chevy versus the GMC. The piano keys, they raise up, so on the GMC, they're placed way down here, and your AC controls are raised up. On the GMC, you have a larger wood accent in the glove box area, but I really love the way this looks. It's a beautifully laid out interior, and when you're driving this truck, you actually get to enjoy that. You get to see all of this. It's a beautiful interior. I even like the placement of the USB-C down here versus the GMC, which puts them right here in the center. I like the placement of the trailer brake controller right here versus right here on the GMC. There's just so many little things that the folks at Chevrolet, I feel, did better than the interior of the GMC that we have. Now, I'm not saying, again, anything's wrong with the interior of the GMC. I just feel that Chevy took a more ergonomic approach to their interior while at the same time making it look absolutely beautiful. It's just great. I love seeing these trim accent pieces on the corners. I love the fact that they were able to hide the vent for this window right here, so you don't see it unless you look way over to the side. It's just a really beautiful truck. The use of gloss black tones in areas, or that piano black finish in areas. I love the LCD gauge cluster as well as the infotainment system. It's just a beautiful interior. And again, I can honestly tell you that I prefer it over the GMC. Now, from a driving characteristics perspective, this truck drives really well, and I would actually say it has a smoother on-road driving dynamics than the GMC that we own. It actually feels smoother. I believe that's probably due to the fact that this truck has Rancho shocks on it versus the shocks that GM puts on the standard Denali. We don't have a Denali Ultimate. We don't have the air suspension. So the ride of this truck, in my opinion, feels a little bit more plush. It definitely leans more towards the softer side, whereas the ride on the GMC definitely leans more towards the firmer side. Both of them ride really well. Both of them are really smooth. But again, I just kind of like the riding characteristics of this truck. To kind of put that into an example, my wife was riding with me the other day in this truck, and we were about to hit a bump that we always hit with the Denali, and she always kind of like tenses up when we go over it with the Denali, and she did the same thing with this, but then when we went over it, she's like, wow, that wasn't bad at all. So yeah, the ride characteristics of this truck, in my opinion, are a little bit softer than the GMC, but some people may prefer that firmer ride. I guess the best way to kind of compare it would be, this felt more like a Lexus, the GMC felt more like a BMW, or feels more like a BMW. So some people prefer the way a Lexus rides, some people prefer the way a BMW rides. They both ride really smooth. They both do a good job tailoring their suspension to the type of rider that they think buys that truck. and I feel like you can't go wrong with either one of them. But if you're going to hop out of one and into the other, you'll definitely notice this truck is definitely on the softer side of suspension versus firm. Now, from a handling perspective, they both feel pretty much the same. Nice firm steering wheel. It doesn't feel too firm. It doesn't feel if it's too hard to steer. It's definitely a comfortable driving vehicle, both of them. They accelerate great. The LZO Duramax diesel that you get in these trucks is phenomenal. Fuel economy is phenomenal. On this truck, we were averaging between 23 and 24 while we had it. On my truck, we usually average between 25 and 26. This is going to suffer a bit in terms of fuel economy because it sits a little bit higher. But overall driving dynamics, the trucks drive very similar. Again, aside from the fact that the suspension on this one leans more towards the soft side. I like how they both handle bumps. I like how they both handle highway conditions. They're both, again, super smooth. The big drawback, I think, of either of them is that the turning radius is kind of bad. I'm not a big fan of the turning radius on the front of these GM trucks. They just don't do very well. I feel as if almost every other truck I drive can turn much sharper than either the Chevy or the GMC, and that's a big deal to me. I can still pull a UE if I have enough room to do it, but I just don't want to have to worry about having to make like a 3-point turn because I don't have the steering angle that I need. And I feel that both Chevy and GMC could improve on that substantially. I mean, even if you can make these trucks have a turning circle that's just slightly shorter by a few feet than what they currently are, I think that would be a huge improvement. Also, I've mentioned this time and time again, the seats are not the most comfortable in my opinion. They cradle you fine when you hop inside and you sit down, but they definitely lean more towards the firm side. The cushioning just doesn't have a lot of give to it. And even on long trips, you know, I've put a 1,000-mile trip on my GMC and the seats just haven't gotten any better. They feel the same. So we've had to add cushions to the bottom of the seats that we picked up off Amazon, which help out tremendously. But I really feel that the seats on these trucks should be improved. I feel that they should make them softer, more plush, put support in areas that they could. I think the folks over at Nissan with that zero gravity seat technology they've been introducing make the best seat. Their seats are absolutely insanely comfortable. The seats in my Ford are insanely comfortable. My wife's Expedition, they are absolutely great. And most Ram trucks I get in have very comfortable seats, but Chevy and GMC, in my opinion, have the least comfortable seats of them all. And this is an area I really wish they would invest in improving in. Now, everything else in this truck I really like. From a driving perspective, everything we see about the dash is really well laid out. But again, these two big hood scoops that lift up over the front of the hood definitely make it a little bit difficult to gauge how far or close you are to an object, which is kind of a similar issue we have with the GMC. The difference here is these stick up even further than the GMC, so whenever we're in front of something, you really can't tell how close or far you are. So what I'm gonna do here real quick is I'm gonna pull up to my fence just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, hopefully, this is about at my eye level. Hopefully, you're seeing what I'm seeing. And right now, I'm gonna tell you, right now, to me, I am right on the fence. Like I am about to hit the fence. I feel like if I get any closer, I run the risk of hitting that pole. But I'm gonna hop out now so you can see how far we actually are. So yeah, we are at least 3, maybe 3.5 feet away from this pole. But from inside of the truck, it literally felt like, I felt like the front bumper was here. That's how I felt. But yeah, we are quite a bit further away than I originally thought, and this is the same scenario I still run into with our GMC Denali. It just feels like you are much closer to things than you actually are. Now, we do have parking sensors here, so I'm gonna see how close I can get real quick just to give you an example of when these parking sensors kick in and before I actually hit that pole. Okay, so we're back inside. I'm gonna pull forward. The parking sensors should start going off like they are. But boy, it seems like I am about to run into that pole. I'm not even kidding you. Maybe a different angle might give you a better perspective of it, but it absolutely seems like I am 2 inches away from tapping that pole. Still going up. I'm gonna turn the camera on here. Look at that. I still have a ton of space. So I'm gonna continue to go up. I'm gonna rely on the camera so I give you a little bit better perspective. All right, so I'm about as close as I feel comfortable with. And it seems as if the pole's embedded in the bumper right now, when it's not. That's, you know, it's just an optical illusion, at least for me, the driver. But it really, really seems like I am way too close to that pole, which I'm sure I am. But let's hop outside and look. Okay, so check that out. I'm still almost a foot away from the pole, maybe about 10 inches from the pole. It looked like I was hitting that pole. Even from the camera, it looked like I was hitting that pole, which is kind of crazy because I'm not. And you can see I still have quite a bit of room there. So again, this is one of those areas that having these hood scoops, which look nice, definitely add to that feeling of having an extra tall hood and seeing over it could be difficult for some folks, including myself. And here's another angle of that. I don't know if it looks the same to you as it looks to me, but it definitely looks like I'm contacting that pole from this angle. So we're gonna wrap this video up. Honestly, I really like this truck. It is a truck that I could see myself driving every single day. I just put a little cushion on the bottom of the seat to make it a little more comfortable for me. It is a beautiful, beautiful truck. They've done an absolutely remarkable job making this truck look aggressive, sophisticated, and at the same time with a touch of luxury to it, while giving you that off-road inspiration that you're looking for when you opt for a Trailboss with the Z71 package. That Duramax badging up there on the hood absolutely looks fantastic, and it definitely gives this truck a little bit more flair. And at the end of the day, this is a truck a lot of people are buying. There are a lot of people getting it. It's great to know that you can get this package with the diesel in it, because there's some folks who want that diesel sound, they want that diesel feel, but they also want that diesel fuel economy. And you get a great amount of fuel economy with this truck, plus a tremendous amount of range. On our GMC, we get roughly 750 miles per tank when we're trying to really get as far as we can on one tank. On this truck, you can get about 650 miles per tank if you're being very careful in how you drive, which is awesome because you get a tremendous amount of range. You don't have to stop to fill up too many times, and you're getting it in a package that looks fantastic. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.